Welcome to the channel, people of the world, and my fellow Americans. Yes, we know so many of you are ready to head over to Europe. You got your sights set on Europe, and I don't blame you because Europe does promise much adventure, a lot of good times. I don't blame you. But the question is, as an American, are you ready for this kind of freedom? it, there's some jaw dropping freedom out here. Some of the stuff I noticed, I know my jaw dropped. And I know with me mentioning freedom, Americans would think, some of y'all probably do, what is she talking about freedom? America is the land of the free. We are the beacon of democracy. We know about freedom, but this freedom game got levels. And I know we have the songs, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Beautiful song, but this freedom game has different levels. Just because you have freedom in one area, some other areas, you may not be so free. Like, for example, can you drive 100 miles an hour in America on any freeway? I mean, most freeways in Europe, you can drive 80 miles an hour. I don't think you can even drive that fast anywhere in America. Could be. But what about 100 miles an hour? What about 120 miles an hour on the freeway? Or 150 miles an hour in a high performance vehicle with roads that don't have potholes in them? Okay, I mean smooth, like an ice skating rink or a skateboard park, just smooth because the infrastructure is so well taken care of. Okay, that's already something. Yeah, that's something to experience. And of course, everybody's car doesn't drive that fast, and everybody doesn't want to drive that fast. But if you do, you can rent a car. You can come out here and rent a car and drive that fast. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. And what about drinking establishments that stay open 24 hours? Where there is no last call. There is no last call. You might want to come over, you're thinking, oh, I want to experience Europe, and maybe we want to move with your husband or your significant other. It's a little casual out here. You got to be ready for that. But it's not, I wouldn't say that it's all wild, but like David Bowie said, this is not America. No, this is not Shana na na na. It's another mentality. It's different. It's different. And I think it's something that you should experience. You should be open to experiencing. It's not like, all totally buck wild. There's order to the madness. But this is a very liberal, free culture because their system is social, just because they have a social system that, they take care of the roads and people have health insurance, doesn't mean that they're not liberal and tolerant in their mentality, the way people deal with each other. I don't think it's about your politics. It's something else going on. It's a different mentality. And America is like a Christian nation, or at least people Christian when they go into church. You got to be ready for this, be prepared for the difference in mentality. And that makes me think about the story about Jonathan Majors and his ex Jabari, Grace Jabari, a European girl, Jonathan Majors, an American dude. They had a bunch of problems, but amongst their problems, the first thing I thought when I heard the story is like, okay, one thing he was doing that was aired out on television is that he was scolding her for coming in late drinking. That's why he brought up all that Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. It's like he's wanting her to behave in a disciplined way, but Europeans, you're not shaming them about their drinking culture. Like they can buy beer at McDonald's. Okay, that's changing because McDonald's is an American company. So not so many of them anymore are serving beer because it's supposed to be McDonald's, with the Happy Meals and the kids. But all of these McDonald's served beer, and some of them still do. They just, I guess, because of appearances and everything becoming so globalized with all the tourism and everything, it's like you got to stand for something. It's like whatever we present, and it's an American company. So Not many of them, but some of them still do serve beer. And all the things that are part of having a good time that you do in your free time, they don't shame each other. They don't shame each other for what they do. Like, I don't know if that's all good because Americans do kind of look out for each other. It's like Americans will say, "Hey, have you had too much?" Or are you taking care of yourself? We really will get in each other's face about things, even total strangers. I think that's a good thing about us as Americans. Europeans, don't expect them to be the ones saying you've had enough or have you had too much. They feel like, hey, you're an adult, you should know what you're doing. You know, some of the most straight people, some of the people, they're the most straight during the day. You just can't believe how they get jiggy with it when they're having a good time. It's a drinking culture, especially Northern European, especially Northern Europe. It's really the freedom you have with alcohol, walking around with open containers. It's like you can't do, where in America can you do that? You just, it was jaw dropping for me. It's like they're walking around with a, yeah, and it's like waiting the first time. When are we gonna have a last call for alcohol? I'm kind of like ready to leave. It's like there is no last call. There is no last call. It's just different. That's the way they enjoy themselves to the utmost in a different way. 'Cause Americans, they enjoy themselves to the utmost, but in a different way. It's just different. The wine, women, and song, and eat, drink, and be merry. That's how they do it. It's all about living your life like it's golden, like Jill Scott. There's a song for everything, but they really do believe in that art of life or making art out of your life, making art with your life. And that's for people at every economic level. They really believe in their enjoyment in another, like, this is my time for peace. This is my time for doing what I want to do. And all these things that help me have a good time, that's, Germans call it Genießmittel. These are the things I use to enjoy myself. Americans, we party like, woo, do we party intensely. I mean, our parties are lit, on fire. Their parties may not be like lit on fire, like what we call lit on fire, but they enjoy themselves in a very deep way. And all the traveling and all of that is part of it, not working yourself to death, excuse me. But Americans have another mentality about what is ideal. However, we got it, the American dream about having a home, having a car. And they like these things too. But Americans, that's what our conversation is around, the American dream, home ownership. Europeans are more about their experiences. It's like a slightly different focus, more than accumulating and having this thing that you say is yours. It's more about the ability to have experiences. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll break that down a little bit more in another video. You don't have to necessarily be in the middle class or the upper middle class to have these enriching experiences and live your life like it's golden, like Jill Scott, living your life like it. I love that. That lyric is my mantra. And it could be the mantra of Europeans because that's what they're low key about. I don't even know if they even consider it for themselves, but myself being an observer, that's what I would say. Just like they say things about us, observing us, because plenty of Europeans come over there and check us out in America and they have a good time, but they, they make their observations. I think I'm unbiased. As unbiased as I can be. But there's a lot of differences. What are the major differences and how different is Europe to America? I will get into that in upcoming videos. related to this topic. I do appreciate you stopping by, and please come and check me out again. Do subscribe so you get my upcoming videos, and leave a comment and let me know what you think. If you've been over to Europe, let me know your experiences. And if you've been to America, let me know your experiences. And the Europeans also have ideas about Americans being over here in Europe. I'll continue to post more on this topic. I thank you so much for stopping by. Until I see you the next time, keep living your life like it's golden.